All right, we're back, folks. Let me know if you can hear me. Doing some post-round coverage for the first ever real golf versus sim golf match in the history of forever. Let me know what you think. I can hear me good. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry, like I said, I was running back and forth between every single shot, trying to make sure that you guys could see them and switching back and forth. I know unfortunately, I caught at the end, probably for 75% of the holes. I had his video on the bottom right. I was trying to match up to where I was in the lower right and he was in the lower right to kind of keep it constant. And then I didn't catch that my ball on GS Pro because I'm so far offset. You probably couldn't see the ball. It was cutting it off a little bit, but okay, Milsa sounds good. Toast says, gotta say, ooh, hold on. Gonna say, brother, went well. Oh, well done, that worked. You sound look good. Appreciate it. I don't know about look good, but what do you guys think? I tried to, like I said, I tried to make it as fair as possible. Keith was very, very kind to come on, spend the time to do that, go out there, book the tee time, and you saw very inclement weather. I mean, he was out there in Virginia. It was like 40 degrees or whatever he said, and it was raining a lot of the time. I tried to handicap it the best I could to where I was playing the tips and he was playing the red. And I did 5-foot gimme circles. Like he told me probably I had it on course recommended settings, which was the 8 stimp. He said the stimps, if he had to guess, were 9 or 10. So I split the difference at 9 and turned the wind on, furthest back tees, all that kind of stuff. And I tried to match it up the best I could. Maybe I could drop it down to like 3 feet on the gimme circle, possibly 3 or 4 feet. I was worried if I'm like just outside of that, the square, I'd be sitting here for like 5 putts in a row while he's driving over the next tee box to where I was not getting a putt to register. So that's why I went with the 5. Actually, I'm going to switch. I got out a brand new sleeve, which maybe that's why I hit some halfway decent shots. I was relatively happy how that went, but I broke out a brand new sleeve at TP5s for that round to make sure I didn't have any wonky reads from those beat up ones. But now I'm just gonna hit some balls. Maybe we'll play a par 3 or something. But curious to hear your thoughts, and apologies I couldn't keep up with the chat like I usually do between me talking to him, trying to keep a conversation going, not talking the best that I can while he was hitting, and running back and forth to my laptop to kind of switch back and forth between me and him. So tried my best, did as good as I could do. Hopefully you guys thought it was fun and interesting. Oh, I don't know. Hello to whatever that is, but I don't know what your name is, but hello to you. What do you guys think? Even par sim +7 on course? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it depends. I think in general, the whole reason why I tried to handicap it the best way I could. In general, sim golf is definitely easier. GS Pro not as much because GS Pro is more realistic. But I would say probably in the neighborhood of 5 to 10 strokes. The only caveat being, at least for me, and I think a lot of people would agree, the putting is actually more difficult. I think. I mean, I'm getting used to it now, but putting is difficult on the sim. But I mean, he was in, winter conditions, so it may still have been easier for me. But I just figured if we did that with the tee boxes, if we were trying to handicap it with strokes on top of it, it would have got way too confusing. I was having a tough enough time having you guys keep track of the score, like 1 up or whatever through 2, whatever it was, in the chat. I was having a tough enough time keeping track of that, let alone adding or subtracting strokes onto it. But I think overall, I'm pretty happy. I got to go back. I mean, I literally just went to the bathroom. I got to go back and look at it after this. But I think overall it went pretty well. Give me your circle options are 2, 4, and 5. 2 would work with the square. Gives you a challenge on the short ones. Even up the difficulty. Maybe I'll do that next time. I wasn't sure. I've never played with anything lower than 5. So like I said, I didn't want to, for that first time, I wanted to kind of keep it moving, respect his time, and kind of go with something that worked, which is why I was I was trying to be as generous as I could. I told him off the bat if it's within a putter, it was good, and then I was trying to be generous with the gimmies. So maybe even in the future, if I keep it towards 5, let him, whoever plays next, if it's him again or someone else, let him take 2 putter lengths for a gimme, something like that. Um, what's up, C-Drum? I appreciate the. I know you sent it. You sent the super chat after I shanked one in the water, but I appreciate that. I think I said thank you, but it was tough. Like I said, keeping up. What do you guys think, though? Anything glaringly obvious that I could have done better, or something that you would have liked to seen? Someone, I think, whoever that person was, I think was Keith's friend, and said he would like to see split screen. I just don't know in terms of the like 16:9 ratio. I don't know if I could even do split screen, and if I did, like I'm gonna be so tiny over here, and he's gonna be so tiny on the right side. I'm not sure. Fun time, man. Hey, there's the man of the hour, Keith. Can we get some W Keiths in the chat? This was Keith who just played with us. Very, very kind for him to go out there and do that, and put up with me trying to experiment doing that for the first time. But I'm happy hearing any constructive criticism. Keith. W. John Taffer. I'm happy to hear any constructive criticism if you guys think I could have done anything better. Unfortunately, I'm not super well versed in like all the cool different things I could have done. With like OBS is what I use. So I did my best. I did a bunch of research last night of how to set up kind of like the 2 different like scenes that were going on and switching back and forth. Came in late to the match, just watched the first hole. Super cool. Switching back and forth between camera looked good for full view. W. Keith. Appreciate that. Golf wrenching. Couple MGTV loyalists in here. And again, that's the whole reason why it came about. Originally, we're still hopefully going to plan on doing it. Basically, this was kind of a proof of concept. I literally came up with this idea. I shouted out Black Cloud. He turned me on to McGolfin TV probably about a month ago now. And then my wheels started turning of how we could possibly do a collab together. Them basically playing, or not basically, them playing 100% outside and me playing like 95% in here in hopes that I could kind of expose them to some of my viewers and help them out a little bit. And this is kind of what I came up with. And I think we're still planning on doing it. And they have all the, stream elements, infrastructure to make it look a lot better with scorecard, and having them be a 2-person team can switch back and forth a lot easier than I did. But I was hoping that we could at least get Phil in here, but I think they were streaming right around the same time. So I didn't even ask. They got to focus on their own thing. But it would have been nice. I was trying to incorporate him somehow into it if I could have. But hopefully for the next one, we can do something like that. He has a big personality like me. I don't know if I have a big personality, but he was good. I mean, in terms of like it's daunting. Like I'm used to it now at this point, but like if you guys were to have a camera on you out there playing, trying to focus on hitting shots, focus on setting the camera up, focus on talking and make it interesting, saying where the ball went, and then like keeping up a conversation, like it's a lot tougher than you would think it would be. So he did a really good job. That went as far as like, especially I didn't know about like cell phone service or anything. I think that went just about as good as it could have gone for the first trial run there. When I get rich, just give me a lifetime of Strixon balls. I can do that. Just remember, if any other shady figures out there start copying that, remember who came up with it. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. It wasn't like we had like 1,000 people watching live, but I think I'm onto something here, and we'll see. Maybe Mr. C-Drum. Maybe C-Drum. He was possibly, I didn't know with Keith, he was 50-50. He put it in the Discord because of the weather. So I was possibly going to have C-Drum call in reinforcements, possibly have C-Drum run over to his course and play. But maybe the next one we'll get old scrawny C-Drum on here to I'll play the reds in the sim, he'll play the tips, and we'll probably still have to find out a way to handicap him on top of that. You guys are on it. This could grow a community. I mean, I hope so. Again, it's up to you guys. Like I was telling Keith originally, personally, I really had fun doing that. I think he enjoyed it. So I don't chase. I know I get kind of cutesy with some of the titles and whatnot, but I don't chase. Like I'm not doing stuff that I hate doing just for the views. So as far as I'm concerned, I really enjoyed doing that, and he enjoyed doing it, which is the most important part. And then to me, it's a win-win if you guys also enjoyed it and want to see more of it. But even if you hated it, honestly, I would still probably do some more of those here and there. But it's nice when we both enjoy it and then you guys enjoyed it as well. This guy likes Pro TVX and Strixons, shaking my head. Sorry, tons of golfers do putts streams and they steal your ideas and dreams. Probably already have. I know, tell me about it. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I purposely scheduled this. Keith was kind enough to do it, and I put first ever because literally, like, it wasn't like I saw someone and like, oh, I'm gonna take that idea and then make my own out of it. I thought of this, like I said, Black Cloud. You told me about that, and I told you. I can't remember what your response was. You're like, I don't know how that's gonna work, but that's how I thought about it. So if you see anyone remotely close to doing this, you know where it came from. Which I can't stop anyone from doing it. It's just the way I've explained it. It's frustrating if I equate it over to doing a school project back in the days of school. You have a partner for a school project. You do 95% of the work, and then they put their name on it on the last day and get credit for it. That's kind of how I feel about that. But it seems like pretty definitive that me and McGolfin TV are going to do that, which should be even higher quality because they have all the, like I said, all the stuff to make their stream look really good. But from what I could tell, the coverage, like the data, looks pretty good. So from what I could tell, I was looking at him on my laptop. It seemed pretty good. Like you can't expect 4K quality, but I think it looked pretty good. Like when me and you scrambled at Exeter. What are you saying? When is in terms of you beating me or what? What was that in reference to? I will note, I didn't mention it before, but I was tuning into Mashy's live stream last night. I sent it over to C-Drum. He was playing Jurassic Park, and then Mashy asked at the end, do you guys want to play? And I fired up the projector out here in the simulator at like 11 o'clock at night. So I played 18 holes last night. It was me and Mashy doing a scramble against C-Drum, and we did in fact win. Oh, the group project, I get you. Yeah, exactly. So it's like you hit all the shots, you hit 95% of the shots, and then I take credit for it. That's exactly what it's like, C-Drum. But see, it only works. I can complain about it when it goes the other way, but when it goes in my favor, then I just take credit for it. Obviously, that's how you do it. You're the legit first streamer with Keith to do that type of stream, and it's on your page, proof dated and time stamped. No one else can take the idea or take that away from you. I know that's true. It's just, yeah, if any other, I don't know. You get what I was saying. But yeah, it's up there. And if I really wanted to, it's I could take screenshots of mine and your Instagram message, Black Cloud, from a month ago when I had that idea. So you'll never be able to convince me because it's just not true. If anyone ever claims that that wasn't the first one and that wasn't a super unique idea. Get some representation. I need Slicer and Slicer. I need some protection from Slicer and Slicer. And I even looked last night. I searched for about 20, 30 minutes last night of real golf versus sim golf. And the most that I saw was there was 3 different videos and they were comparing the difficulty and like how it's the same and how it's different of real golf versus sim golf. And I remember seeing back in the day, I couldn't find it last night. I remember seeing something. I want to say it was when I was researching GS Pro and someone was comparing GS Pro to a course they played in real life in terms of the graphics and the layout and whatnot. I couldn't find that last night, but that was like he filmed something like months prior and then played it on GS Pro and was kind of going back and forth with himself, which I mean, that's not even remotely what I was doing. So, anyways, any constructive criticism? If anyone tuned in for some of it or most of it, anything I could have done better or differently, besides me being the skill level of C drum. I hit a couple darts in there though, I must say. I hit a couple good long irons into some of those greens, and I was playing Sunday pins. I don't know what his were. Obviously, I was trying to make it as difficult on me as I could, and I was ready to turn. Usually never play with the wind. I was ready to turn the wind all the way up, but he said it was basically essentially no wind out there. Increase ball speed next time? Yeah, well, P.S. There's no proof that you beat me. So I was thinking about that. I mean, it was literally me and Mashy playing against C-Drum, and C-Drum was only hitting once. So I was debating taking a picture, but that's not much bragging rights to have 2v1, and we only beat him by like 4 strokes, I think. So I didn't take a picture, but maybe it's saved somewhere in my GS Pro for the scorecards. Had a couple though, couple drives up there that were like 145-ish, which C-Drum knows compared to last night. I was hitting drives like 130 ball speed. I do plan on though. Obviously, it's tougher for me to get people to agree to do that and be willing to do that, but I plan on making kind of like a series and like an ongoing thing out of that. If anyone think that you can do similar to what Keith did, and you have a course on GS Pro that is local to you, by all means, we'll keep it going. Interacting with the viewers on that level is next level. Use Discord to organize yourself. Schedule a tea time. Oh. Yeah. So, and funny enough, golf wrenching. Phil over at McGolfing TV, I was in there before, and I was talking about doing this with Keith, and he was like, "You know what? No, what you should do. It would be a good idea." I can't remember if it was him or Lex or both of them, but they were like, "You know, it's a good idea. You should challenge people. People should give you their home course, and they should challenge you to like play their home course." Which, if you go back on my channel, I was the first person doing that too. I did that back in the Home Tee Hero days. I was taking subscriber requested courses, and people would give me their home course that they wanted to see me play. And I've done those too. I've done requests on GS Pro. So I have done that, and go figure, other people copied that too. But it's just tough. And I was really, really hoping, like I said, it was 50-50, and luckily the golf gods were kind and let it happen. But I was really worried that I kind of promoted it. I shared it on a couple GS Pro Facebook pages of that stream, so people were aware of it, and I was really hoping I didn't have to cancel, and or just like if he wasn't able to play because of the weather, I would have came on here and wasted like the thumbnail and the title and just played by myself. Would have been pretty unfortunate, but luckily, I mean, we got in 11 holes, which is even more than I even expected. So all in all, pretty happy. South Atlanta, all right, we can make it happen. The best way, so I'm still kind of new to Discord, golf wrenching, but if you join it, you can get in contact with me on Discord. That's probably the easiest way to go back and forth with like a direct line of communication. I have a server, or you can just you can direct message me on there too. I do it, but I don't have the time to golf solo. There's no GS Pro courses that are made I can play in real life. Looked like Keith did a very good job managing his camera on his end. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised too. He was even going as far as like switching back and forth between the front-facing camera and the back-facing camera. I mean, it was impressive. He did a really, really good job. Like I said before, you guys don't know how intensive that is, and like what goes into that between, like I said, having the camera going the whole time, making sure that you're lined up to where the ball's in frame, you're focused on hitting a shot, keeping a conversation with me, if I'm reading out any comments, all that kind of stuff. Started raining hard as soon as I put my clubs away. I'm starting to think, Keith, I think this was meant to be. I think everything kind of worked out about as good as it could, and that just goes to further show. As soon as the skies opened up, as soon as you were done after those 2 holes, I think we had something on our side today, whatever you want to call it. My own Discord address. So if you give me a second, I can put in the server. Or you could also, my username is just Hosel Rocket Golf, all one word. You can add me as a friend, but if you give me a second on my other phone, I can send you the invite. I was thinking about putting that in the description, but I think the invite, like, there's only like a certain amount of time that it's good for. So I think it would just keep I would have to keep updating it. But I'll send it here in the chat and you can join it. One second. Yeah, exactly. Pizza Man, no issues on his end. And on top of all that, too, it's just daunting playing. He said he's only been playing for a couple of years. Whether you've been playing for a decade or not, it's daunting if you're not used to it, seeing people watch you hit shots, good and bad, in real time. It's definitely an adjustment period. McGolf and TV boys talk about that. But here you go, Golf Wrench and Monkey. I'm posting it. That's the link for the server. I guess I don't even know if it's called a server, but that's like my Discord group. And then if you wanted to, you can send me a direct message from there as well. You guys want to see a par 3? Or are we just debriefing here? We could. Now that I think about it, maybe fitting. We almost played, I forget how Keith said it. I call it Mattapani. I forgot how he even said it, but we could do the par 3 course at Mattapani. He almost played that course, which is up there for some of the nicer courses on GS Pro. Let's do that. That seems like a fitting par 3 to play here. We got lucky too on that Bidawee, or however you pronounce it. Portsmouth, Virginia is what we played. Pac-Man design course. Pac-Man's awesome. So we got lucky on the designer too. Mattapani Springs Short in Ruther Glen, VA. So we almost played that one. RC Perkins Jr. We almost played the full course there. I think the only way to make it fair for the real golfer is you got to turn off gimme circles and turn off the putt lines on the greens. I mean, I don't disagree. The only thing, like, I was planning on doing that, and there's an option here to turn off. Maybe I guess we'll try it here. There's an option that says like enable gimme circle or something like that in the main settings. The only problem, Black Cloud, is the square can only read so little of a delicate putt. So I didn't want to get into a situation where I'm sitting there, like when I was having issues before, I'm sitting there hitting the same putt for 5 minutes just to get it to register, just for a tap in. So I was trying to keep it moving, if that makes sense. Where did I see that the other day? There was an option somewhere to enable or disable the gimme circle. Maybe it was back in the match settings. Play. How many holes is this? Stroke play. I don't really want to hit long shots, to be honest. Green. That should be better. Right around 100-yard shots. I mean, the lowest I can go here on the gimme circle is 2. So I guess we'll try that. We'll try 2 and see if the square struggles to read that or not. We'll go coarse, which is not much more than what I have. Was this here? Auto concede, break line, indicator. I don't know. I don't mind doing that as far as the dots, but I would have no way. Like he was using aim point, you can see it a lot better in real life. I'd have no idea where to aim. Like it's kind of deceiving. Even some people they say they struggle with those dots. I don't know if I'd even be able to hit a putt remotely close if I don't have that. And I know C-Drum was kind of partly kidding, but saying I was cheating with the flyover and the like the UI. But I was doing the flyover in terms of like the video quality and having someone be able to watch it back to where they can see actually what the hole is, not for me to like scout out shots. Yeah, as small as possible. So we're gonna try it here, Black Cloud. I'm gonna do 2-foot gimme circle and see if the square can even read it. And I mean, by no means am I like rubbing it in Keith's face and like bragging that I won. Honestly, I was telling C-Drum before it would have been better so you guys can chirp me in the chat if I actually lost by a lot, which I was kind of hoping was going to happen. So it wasn't like I was trying to make it easier on myself just to shoot a better score. Get in touch when I'm back in town. Sounds good. In the meantime, golf wrenching, if you want, you can look up. If you Google SGT courses, short for Simulator Golf Tour, I'm going to type it right here in the chat. Oh, that was not what I wanted. If you Google this right here, SGT courses, short for Simulator Golf Tour, there's an interactive map and you can search by location to see if anything's close to where you live. And if anything's on that website, I can play it here. That's what Keith did. All right. Mattapani, or at least that's how I'm pronouncing it. Mattapani Spring Short, par 3 course, first hole. I'm not going to do any of the flyovers, but 88 yards. Aim a little bit to the right. Good test here, I guess, for the 2-foot gimme circles. I mean, all in all, I thought it was relatively. I was trying to make it as fair as possible with the 5-foot because I knew at least that would work, and letting him call it good from a putter length. All right, let's see what we can do. I do have to feed my dog in a half an hour, so we'll see how long this takes. But I wasn't sure how long it would take for me and Keith to play, so I kind of have it all ready to go. 82. This may work. Spin. Look how small that gimme circle is. Look how small that is. I mean, for these, this isn't going to matter because obviously I'm putting it close. It's where it's going to be an issue is if I'm just outside of this 2-foot gimme circle and I'm trying to hit literally like a 2-footer. I just don't know if the square is going to take it. Something like this, though, obviously I'm trying to cozy it up and it should be fine. So 8 feet, 6 inches, playing 10. Go like a cup right. Birdie to start. I use 2-foot gimme circles. Should be no problem for the square. I do think it was reasonably fair. I was just playing in tougher conditions and missed some shots I need to hit. Knee's feeling all right. I mean, I still have the brace on it. Yeah, I agree, Keith. I mean, I tried to. Again, I wasn't trying to like sandbag and make it way easier on me than it was you. And at a certain point, I'm trying to match it up as close as possible between obviously playing the same course, playing the same hole, shot by shot. And I was asking you about the wind and the stimps and whatnot. So I was trying to make it as close as possible. But at the end of the day, it is sim golf versus real golf. So as opposed to me and you playing actual match play together on course, there's only so much I can do. But um, definitely open to any suggestions for the next one. Give me circle on the X putt is 2 feet. I think the issue is you run into later is when you do this again, people are playing on packed courses. That can make things challenging for sure. Well, that's what I was saying. It almost worked out better how miserable the weather was, unfortunately for Keith. But the fact that he literally had the entire course to himself. One, if there's other people, even if Keith was by himself and he had like a group in front of him the entire time, he'd be waiting on tee boxes. So we would just have to talk and kind of fill time. Two, if he got paired with one other person or three other people, and they weren't cool with the camera, I mean that's the risk you run. The same risk as making a tee time and then having it be a rain out day to where you can't play even if you wanted to. So I mean it's tough. That's what you deal with playing with real life golf. So 93 up 7. And I mean, that's all we can do is just try. Worst case scenario, that happens and you shut it down after 2 holes. And I just keep playing, I guess. I mean, can't control the uncontrollable. .95, but I hit it toey. That's going to be left. Not a bad distance, though. I mean, if I turn off, I know I'm on the projector and on the phone, so you can't see it great, but you saw like all my other GS Pro streams. If I turn off these dots, I have no idea which way it's going. At least in real life, you can kind of read it and see it. Here, especially on the projector, I would have no way of telling if this thing is dead straight, uphill, downhill, left, right. Like I kind of need the dots, and putting is tough enough as it is. I hear you though. It's not a terrible suggestion. All right. 10 feet, 10 inches playing 8 feet, 10 inches. Oh, we just burned the edge for a par. I think tomorrow, as far as I guess scheduling and programming goes, I saw PJG. He was in the chat before. Unfortunately, I couldn't read and respond to a lot of stuff he was saying. But tomorrow, I'm planning on probably right around 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna play a full 18 at his course, which I believe is called Twin Lakes. I think he's also in Virginia. Twin Lakes in Virginia. It's actually a course that he works at and has never seen it on the sim. So I think it's gonna be really cool, especially if he can watch it live. Playing it in real life on a course that someone actually works at should be pretty cool. But that'll be tomorrow. I'm going over. It'll just be 18 and done. I'm going over to a buddy's house to watch the Super Bowl. Starts at 6:30. All right, 80 yards. .8. This could be really good. Go in. Oh, right next to the pin. That's about as good as I can hit it there. I guess realistically, I probably needed like 77, 78 because that rolled out. What did that roll out? 2.5 yards. For my skill level, though, I'll call that a dart. Paul's in VA2. He and I might be able to both play you at the same time. That'd be cool. So we could do similar to what I did last night with me and Mashy versus C-Drum. We could do a scramble match play to where you guys are playing as a team, as a scramble, playing against me by myself. Do you think is he similar skill level to you? Do you know? I pulled that a little, and we burned the edge again. I guess hindsight, I could have done 2-foot gimme circles, so Keith would have grabbed a couple extra strokes on me. Next time, I'll do that. Yeah, I've been so busy doing all these streams and everything and all the videos. I unfortunately, I never saw that course. I downloaded it right before we started. It's not like I scouted that course and had any idea, and I didn't even have time to try a round like this with 2-foot gimme circles. So, kind of is what it is. I don't think doesn't seem like Keith's too upset about it though, which is the main thing. And at the end of the day, none of us are going pro. Whether I won by 10 strokes or lost by 10 strokes, it doesn't matter. That's not the point of it. And like I said, if I could have picked in an ideal world, I would have lost by about 10. So you guys could have roasted me in the comments. I chunked it. Go. Chunk pull. Look at those tee boxes. What tee boxes are those? The reds from like 12 yards? You ever seen a tee box right next to a green before? I wish I had an easier way. Like for that, for example, I was walking. I guess I could have moved my laptop closer, but I have the HDMI running. I wish there was an easier way where I could have just like pressed a button right here to easily switch back and forth between like my view and his view. Because like you guys saw me, I was constantly walking back and forth to the laptop trying to get it to where if he was hitting or showing something, I was showing it, and vice versa. Set the stimp to 13 and the wind to gusty to handicap yourself more. Yeah, I mean that's not a terrible point. I was just trying to do my best to match it up exactly to what he was playing on course. I know it's not the same, but that was kind of the thought process. Maybe in the future I'll do that. But I mean that said, it depends on the other golfer. I didn't know. Like I looked at some of Keith's YouTube shorts he did, but it's kind of tough to tell. Like I didn't know if he was like a scratch golfer, and then I'm like if I did that against Seadrum and I'm doing that, he's gonna win every single hole. You know what I mean? So you kind of want to match up, which is a little bit tougher to the person you're playing with. All right, what do we got? 8 feet playing 9. Come on. I don't even use the heat map, to be honest, Toast. Heat map and the grid is the only way to putt this sim. Yeah, I just use the. I mean, I have to have the grid. Otherwise, like I said, I would have no idea which way to putt it and which way to aim. Like, I would just literally leave it straight every time and just hope that it wasn't a significant break because it's not very easy to tell just looking at it. You can't tell the undulation of the green the same way you can in real life. All right, 105. I'll hit the choke down approach wedge again. Try to hit this right about 100 in the air. I can feel supposed to get 6 inches of snow here starting tonight. I can feel the temperature dropping. I've had the heater on the entire time, but I can even feel the temperature in the garage. I can feel the surrounding temperature dropping. And that's going to be fun to wake up to tomorrow. 6 inches of fresh snow. Well, I hit it 94.6. It'll be fine, but I want an extra 4 or 5 yards on that. 26 feet, 8 inches, down 6. I mean, at the end of the day, the whole point was just to give you guys something different and something fun uh, to kind of watch. So I think I at least accomplished that. Pretty unlikely that turns into the next the live or TGL, but I'm planning on doing some more of them. All right, well, I wasn't trying to do that, but here's a good test for the square. Now we've got a 2 foot 8 inch putt. Let's see if it takes it. This was what I was worried about. Left center. All right, it took it. 2.4 ball speed. All right, next time we're doing 2 foot gimme circles, at least on my end. And I'll still, I don't know. I didn't look into. So the 2 foot, is that straight across or is it, so does that mean it's a foot on either side of the hole for the 2 foot gimme circle? Or is it, like, how does that work out for the gimme circles? Meaning, like I said, so is it for a 2 foot gimme circle that I'm playing? Is it a foot left and a foot right, or is it 2 feet left and 2 feet right? So it is like is it from the middle of the cup or is it the entire circle? I'm not great at geometry. So that's at least one way to handicap it, because 2 foot, that's pretty short. That's definitely more than a putter. No, I faded it, and I aimed right. That was kind of stressful, though. I was nervous leading up to that, wondering how it was going to go. And for all I knew, the coverage there, like I'm sure you guys have been at golf courses before where the cell phone service is just terrible and you literally can't even make a phone call. I was worried that like we wouldn't even be able to hear them or see them if it was like so spotty. So I would say overall, and more, I would say overall that was about 95% as good as I could have hoped. And the only other 5% was on my end of not realizing that his camera view on the right, the bottom right, was cutting off the ball on GS Pro just a little bit. 2 foot gimme means 4 foot diameter. So you're saying 2 foot means 2 foot, 2 feet left and 2 feet right. So if you took a tape measure all the way across the circle, it would be 4 feet. All right, 22 down 5. All right, we're right on the edge. Now we've got a 2 foot, 1 inch putt. Tough to tell, even just by looking at this. Tough to tell if that's a foot or 2 feet on each side of the hole. Honestly, I would not be able to tell based on looking at this. I hammered it, but it went in. I guess what I'm getting at, the question is, what would the gimme circle be to make it as close to a putter length. Like what should I do? Probably this 2 feet then. Correct. Here's the proof. You're on the circle. $107 playing a hundo. Oh, I thinned it and pushed it right. Yikes. 35 feet, and it's up a foot 3 inches, so that's going to be 15 feet, so it's 35 playing 50. And even my projector, this is a double breaker. Even the projector, it's tough seeing the dots even though they're there. I'm going to go right at it. Yeah, it's a good point, Keith. You going off the reds probably helped with time too. I mean, we played that quick. I didn't look. I think we were on what, the 7th hole when we were talking about the time. You had to have played that in probably about an hour and 15 minutes, and then we played the extra 2. I didn't hit that. Go. Honestly, I should have turned on the putting aim assist for this anyways. This is just for funsies. 8 feet. I hammered that. Sit. All right, definitely doing these 2 feet next time. This is definitely more challenging. That's a little more realistic. You blast it by and you still have this, I guess would be considered good. Like this would be a club length inside that. But to me, to me, that we're right on the edge of this. 2 feet. Oh, yeah. So I guess, yeah, I get what you're saying now, Bill, before, Bill. That was the proof I'm right on the edge. So I guess you're right. So it's, I'm 2 feet, 4 inches from the center. I get what you were saying. So it's 2 feet either side to the cup. So before I was playing 5 feet from the cup to the edge of the circle, which is, these putters are like, what, 35 inches is the average putter length. So I sandbagged a little bit. Sorry, Keith. Yeah, 2 feet from the hole in a circle. Again, I didn't know. I was until I put this extra. I have the extra tiles in front now of my hitting mat. I was having trouble for a couple weeks getting even 7-foot putts to read on the square. There'd be times I'd have to hit the putt 5 times in a row for it to register. I mean, all things considered, too. Now that I think about it, Keith, he didn't lose anything. Like he didn't lose a ball. I think you played with the same ball the entire time, right? Like, it wasn't like you were slicing it out of bounds and you were spending 15 minutes looking for your ball in the trees. I put 1 in the water, maybe 2 in the water. I think I took 2 drops. Spin. or go. Thought that was going to be better than that was. All right, 18 playing 23. That worked beyond great, Hosel. Coming from a tech, believe me, that was incredibly great. Appreciate it. It's always nice you trying something out and people say at least it works. No audio issues, right? At least we didn't have any issues with that. You never know too. Keith said he had like wireless headphones. You never know if like we could like barely hear him or it sounded terrible. But even the headphones he was using sounded pretty good. Never lost a ball, just hitting bad 45 to 65-yard shots. I think you played pretty well overall. Like you were playing for the most part. You were playing like bogey golf. Like you were by the green within a couple shots. And it was just those. I mean, I'm sure it was soft and muddy. Those, like you said, the kind of wedge shots were hurting you a little bit. But for only playing a couple years, geez, that was bad. Um, when I first started, the first 2 or 3 years, I would have been ecstatic if I played an entire round, play entire 9. I guess you even played 11. Played 9 or 11 holes with the same ball. That's a win. That's a win in and of itself. You have to go back after Keith. You'll have to watch the couple putts I did on the 11th hole. You have to go back and watch that to make sure you secured the win. You would have anyways. I think we would have. Wow, how does that come up short? I think we would have tied anyways, but I gave it a couple love taps. I just thought, I mean, personally for me playing it, I thought it was super cool when I was doing the flyovers and I was pointing out like water or the bridge or whatever, and then Keith would pull up to the shot and then you would see it on camera in real life. Like Pac-Man did a really good job, all these designers do, but of accurately representing all the stuff that was there. So like you see it on the sim here with the flyover, and then Keith was actually showing kind of the same stuff between the bunkers. Like there were multiple shots we were in the same spot almost, like off our tee shots. Yeah, I'm gonna do that tonight. Go back and watch the entire thing. Again, sorry, it was probably like the first like 7 holes. I don't know when I caught it, but for the first 7 holes, I had your video on like the bottom right hand side, and I had it just a little bit too big. So like the ball's right here. Your video was going like just past the ball, so it was cutting off where my ball was. Not that that really matters, but that's just me being picky. I wish I would have caught that sooner. But I mean, as soon as we called each other right before the round and I was cropping your video, and for the fact that it was as clear and as good of quality as it was, I was happy with that. That's pretty minor, all things considered. And there was only one time, now that I think about it, I think there was one time where you said, all right, I'm going to put the camera on the green, and you walked to the bunker. I think it was just the range of your headphones. You were cutting out a little bit. But for the most part, like we were still able to like talk to each other and have a conversation and hear what the other person was saying. I faded it. I was trying to draw it. Uh-oh. Ooh, this is strange. I thought we were going to be in the deep rough. It says T. We're definitely not on the T. I don't know what the deal is with that. So how is this going to come out? It says we're on the T, so I'm assuming there's no reduction in power, although there should be. This should play as deep rough. I guess I'll try to hit it 10. Or 17. Jeez. The sign said A. Curtis Strange sign. Does that mean anything to you? No, what sign are you talking about? On here? I feel like there's a song. I listen to a lot of like yacht rock, 70s type of rock. Is it Curtis Strange or Curtis Lowe? Is in the lyrics of a song. I was on the phone with the sound off the whole time. Yeah, I saw you popped in, Bill. You said something with your daughter. I was having a tough time reading the chat at the same time. Timing sucked. Well, that's the good thing about the live streams is you can just go back and it's obviously not quite as good as watching it live, but essentially it's the same thing. You watch it later in the day, a week later, still there to see. All right, let's see if we can take DJ's advice and set up for the draw and actually make sure it draws, which usually leads to a hook. All right, we'll take that. I didn't hit it. Go. Oh. I've played so many holes these last like 3 days. Like I said last night, I said earlier, I didn't even mention it during the stream earlier, but I came out last night at like 11 o'clock at night and I played 18 with Mashy and C drum. I played 57 holes the day I did the waste management. So I played 18, and then I played another 18 at Hillbilly Hills for 36, and then I came out and recorded the video at Exeter for another 3, and then I played 18 at Exeter on release day. 4 feet. Oh, he was a golfer back in the day? Name sounds familiar. What were you saying? Was that on the course you were playing, Keith, or was that on here? I didn't catch it either way. What's that song? I don't know who it is, like Doobie Brothers or something. There's a song that says, I think I was confusing Curtis Strange with Curtis Lowe. It goes like, Curtis Lowe was the finest picker the world has ever seen, or something like that. Isn't that a song? Maybe called Curtis Lowe. All right, 93. Or 88. Oh, Skinner song? How about that hole out? I chipped one in for birdie. I forget how far that was, but had a little bit of magic there for that live stream. And it helped too. Since we were doing the match play, a couple times Keith just picked up. Eight feet playing 10. Oh, 4 over through 11. I don't even know what I shot. I think I was like 2 over maybe for that 9 holes from the tips. One of those holes was like 603 yards. Kind of crazy. And again, can't stress this enough, the fact that he literally, I thought that was like his home course type of thing that he's played multiple times. He's literally never played that course before. How's that for a straight shot? 14 RPMs of right side spin. I was trying to draw it, but that's pretty straight right there. At least we figured out the 2-foot gimme circles. That's a positive. So glad I did this post round. They had that written on the sign as he came in. I mean, this is in Virginia too. Is that guy from Virginia? I'm assuming. Be good. Be good. Go. These birds are noisy. $15 feet playing 9. Or $15 feet playing 19. Just looked him up. Apparently, professional golfer with back-to-back wins in the U.S. Open. Born in Norfolk. That makes sense. I will say, I've had a couple of these like 2-foot putts. That I would say is probably easier here. Versus you kind of get they call them knee knockers on course. Maybe you kind of get a little more in your head on those type of courses. So maybe 2-foot putts are a little bit easier here. But obviously, all things considered, as far as chip shots go and everything else, 2-foot gimme circle here is definitely more challenging. 113 playing 119. Should be pretty good. Hit a 116 raw carry. $13 playing 14. What's going on with the waste management? Anyone look at the leaderboard? Any big names up there? They were showing Spieth a lot yesterday. I pulled that. Four holes left. 15th hole, par 3, 96. Up a little more than 3 yards. Keith, I can't believe you play Ping Zings. I have that. I was telling you, if you're still in here, this is my Punch-Out Club. I got this for $7.50 on Second Swing. Ping I2, orange dot, 3-iron. They say most popular most popular clubs ever made. I come across more than a few people that still play these. A full set of those. My dad actually, he's been trying to find a deal. He wants a set of beryllium coppers. Who won this real versus sim? I mean, it was a split. We tied. I think I went. I don't know what we finished 9 with. I think I was like, I mean, really real match play. We would have stopped on like the 5th hole. But I won. I guess I won the 9, and then we played 2 extra, and Keith won. Keith won the back 9. So we'll call. Keith was the MVP of today. So we'll say Keith won. It's a good distance, but it did not draw. Yeah, exactly, Bill. Think about how big the gimme circle will look when I set it back to 5 feet. I mean, even just chipping, you're going to put this right next to the cup. Oh, I bladed it. No read. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised. This tank is getting pretty empty. I was half expecting this thing to stop working while me and Keith were playing and run out of propane. Go a little. Or not. Your dad had the copper ping I2s? Yeah, he wants some just to like use them The way I put it to him is you got to kind of look at it like an antique car, to where you would take it out like once a month on like a Sunday and like enjoy it. But obviously, if you buy, like, he has a set, we got matching sets of Sim 2 irons a couple years ago. He plays those. So it's not like he's not going to not play the Sim 2s, which are 2021s, over to like on a regular basis instead of the beryllium coppers. But those are one of those things where you take it out once in a while just to have fun with, and more than likely you would clean them up and just have them kind of like on a rack on the wall somewhere or something, more as like a display piece. They are cool though. Um, I haven't watched as much lately. I haven't watched much of anything lately because I haven't had time. But Stacked Golf, they go around and go to like flea markets and garage sales and thrift shops and whatnot and buy clubs. I learned from them that they stopped making the Ping I2 beryllium coppers because that material was toxic in the manufacturing process to work with. I guess they're fine if like you still use them. You wouldn't want to like scratch them off and like lick it by any means, and you can still touch them and stuff. But that's why they stopped making them, which made them more desirable. Sit, 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 sit. Look at that. Four feet 2 inches for birdie. 5 over right now. Are you kidding me? I pushed that .1 and we missed that right. All right, 18th and final hole. I'm going to wrap it up after this. So, any final comments, questions, concerns? Trash talk, put it in now. Wrong club. Thanks again for playing today, Keith, if you're still in here. That should work. Come on, back off that hill. $13 playing 9. Okay. Come on, square. Yeah, tell me about it, Toast. Within a week, 5 YouTubers are gonna try what you and Keith put together today. We'll see. It's gonna be frustrating. I'm honestly, it's more of a when, not an if it's gonna happen, which is gonna be frustrating for me to see. For again, something that I thought about, planned out. Keith was kind enough to try it out with me and make it work, but it is what it is. All right, folks, I'm out of here. I'm gonna feed my dog, pick this stuff up, make some food, shower, and watch back the first ever real golf versus sim golf. Have a good evening, YouTube Bill. Thanks for watching, guys, and shout out to Keith for making it happen. We don't get to try the proof of concept without him. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'll probably schedule something for right around, I don't know, 1 p.m., 1:15 maybe, I'm thinking, for that 18 holes at PJG's course that he works at, which should be pretty cool. and I haven't looked at that, so we'll go through that the first time together tomorrow. But until then, I don't have any videos recorded, so no video. There's no video today, no video tomorrow, and I don't know about Monday unless I record something tomorrow, either before or after. But I'll see you guys sooner than later. Thanks for watching.